It says Israel will be his footstool. That's where he's going to plant his feet. He's going to be that large, that big, that great. His whole body can. It's just that's what it's going to be. For him, for us to even understand him, he had to make a Yahshua. He had to send these. He had to put the set apart spirit in different prophets, just for us to understand him. And we still can't. We doing our best, y'all, and I thank y'all for making this happen. This just gets us connected every week, if we can. But you'll see as you guys start to break down, like none of this stuff is true. Yahshua is right. They like, oh, LGBTQ, like they're gonna add all of this stuff because that's how they lived in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, they put in that in schools now.
They're gonna do it. That's how
In
they live.
kindergarten.
In kindergarten. What does a kindergarten know about sex? What? In your world, these kids are father. They're father for Baal. Baal could sleep with kids. Pan could sleep with kids. Peter Pan could sleep with kids. Patamin could have sex with children. They perverse what happened with Adam and Eve. Oh man, how did they have more kids? They all slept with Eve. No, silly. Go back and read it. It says day 6, they made man and women of their kind. There were people there. Why are you trying to cut it to make it weird? Why do you want to perverse it?
Yeah.
Why are you looking to perverse it? Oh man, they said that Jonathan and Dawid, you know, he took off his clothes and gave it to Jonathan. Just like how we do in football. I take off my uniform. If you need it in the game, I give it to you. That don't mean we're going to start hugging each other and belly dancing with each other. Why y'all trying so hard to pervert scripture? Because y'all perverted yourselves. Y'all think evil continuously. And so it's deeper than Sodom and Gomorrah. It didn't start there. Why you think they flooded the earth? It was before the time of Noah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
don't think
happens
this is new.
when kids watch TV. Their mind
And
gets comfortable with what they're trying to promote.
they're being programmed, bottom line up
Oh
front.
yeah, that's a good word. That's a good word.
Man, big, we all being programmed. It's just that some of us, I don't know how. Yo, think about how deep we are in our family, guys. Let's just count every boy in our family, every male in our family. We the only 3 doing this. And there's no knock to them. There's no like they bad people or good. They're just people. It's only a remnant. It's only a few. I thank the Most High for giving us this light. Because we could be walking around with the sheeple too. If we're not, we still are. We just can see certain things like, uh-oh. We can
You
see.
messed up.
Uh-oh. Something's coming down yonder. We can see. We can start to look at shepherds because guess what? We're training to be shepherds. Elevating the elect. Yo, I was looking at the word ordain, and ordain means one who follows ordinances. That still go back to laws. The more you study these words, the less spooky these things become. You guys got driver's license, right?
Yeah.
How'd you get it?
Driving. It's like that.
Experience.
Okay, so let me help you. The license was given to you by the state. The experience is something you had.
Yeah.
That is.
Think
facts.
about it. It gotta come together. We are learning how to hold a license in the kingdom of the Most High. You're not understanding. We're building armor. We're building, we're designing our very own army. Man, I was reading somewhere, challenge, and they were talking about, they just said in a blurb, and this is, we got to get past these, we got to read Jubilees, I mean, like, once we get past, because this is canon. This is something that the 66 books that they decided to put together, man decided to keep together. The Most High gave it, but man decided to keep these 66 together. There's others that's inspired by the Most High. That once we understand this, we need to digest too, because it goes deeper. And you'll see that, okay, Adam and Eve were probably, the skin that they have, that we have now, was probably not the skin they start with. They probably came in with armor. Whether it was scaly, I'm not going to go too deep in that because I still got to do some more research. When I say scaly, I mean almost like a reptilian. Horny, like a reptilian, like a horned reptile. To survive the radiation, I don't know. When they said they became naked, that was the probably outer protective garment. So people try to hide religion in science, right? And biology and all this other stuff. But when the Most High already did it, he already gave it to you. You're going to find Solomon breaking down what is in a flower, just like how they breaking down what is in our flower today. That was in Solomon's era. He already did that. They trying to act like they reinvented something, understanding molecules and atoms. That was already understood. They already understood how to split an atom. So these sciences, they want to pretend like, oh, it's something new now. It's not. Nothing is new under the sun. And I'm telling you, like, I'm learning to how from y'all, especially from you, Shu, how to just be even kill about it. Because you know me, big. I'm excited one way up when I'm up. I'm excited one way down when I'm down. Now it's just to be even kill because it's just receiving the message and being quiet enough to hear what the Most High is putting out. What Yahshua is putting out. The next movement. We still warriors. We're still troops. We're still an army. It's orders we got to follow. It's ranks. Y'all are getting big in your ranks. I'm watching a king and a priestly king come about in front of me. So that's why when they having events, you know what I'm saying, reach out to Uncle Woody. I could be like, yo, Uncle Woody, call him. But it's different if you got, hey, Uncle Woody, it's Big and Pooh. Big Chinky and Pooh. You know what I'm saying? The Maryland crew, the next time you have an event, we want to be invited. On behalf of Mima, Unc, my dad, and this side of the family, we still here. If Mima was here, y'all probably would be doing it at her house. So we're going to keep on tradition. These are good traditions. But when we here, understand, just like Yahshua was at the wedding, we represent the Most High here. We bless the wedding. We bless the event. Yo, before we start, let us say something and just send a benediction. As representatives, just like I was a representative of the army, if something was to pop off, guess who they have to follow? The leadership, the direction, because I've already went through it. Remember I told y'all about the George Washington thing. He just sat in the back of the International Congress with a uniform on. But he was meant to spit demonic stuff. He set America back spiritually with his demonic possessions. So, slavery was cool. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. We all had servants and slaves. It's just what energy you were putting behind leadership. You will see servants and slaves here all throughout Scripture. When we conquer, we take them. When we get conquered or captured, we become it. That's why I'm saying I'm not saying that we are still in captivity. We just talked about this education system, quote unquote, how they lasso you. Now they teaching your children whatever they want to teach them. We defeated. They're teaching our kids. Now they're putting their private parts in front of our babies.
Yeah.
And we can't do nothing about it. That's why I cried. I'm like, look, Father, look what I did. I brought these babies in this hellish times. But the return back was like, you didn't bring them in, I brought them in. And I didn't bring them in for you to think that you were going to just baby them and watch them. They're going to actually come and hold you down. When you cry, they're going to be the ones that you lean to. And I'm like, my sons? My boys? Yes, your boys. They're big as 3 now, big as 9 now, big as 10 now, but he's going to be 20-something at some age. Who is 3 now, he's 9 now, he's 10 now, he's going to be 18 at a certain age. And if you pour into them now, if you watch those seeds grow now, they will be the tree that you find for shade when I burn this place up.
Bars.
We at war, man. This ain't no sissified mission we on. This ain't nothing for the weak. To go the other way, y'all, to say, you know what? I'm not gonna jump in and get backs. I'm not gonna do that. That took courage. It just don't come one time. They send increments, just like waves, just like in zombies. They just don't send you. They probably have 1 million zombies, 1.1 or 1 point some demonic amount of numbers for demons or zombies that they got coming at you. They're not just gonna send them all. They're gonna send them in waves.
Yeah.
Keep on challenging. Keep on challenging. You're seeing the captivity and in waves as you get older. As you see, like, okay, school ain't really this wonderful place that they pretended to be. It's a prison. It's indoctrinating me to be a better servant to them. And who do you worship? Baal. Oh man, I gotta come away from there. Just for a little bit, just to say I could. I don't want to be in a position to be like, Heavenly Father, you told me to come away from there, and when he called Abram left. Terah was supposed to leave with him. So you can see how attractive, how dope Babylon could be, how beautiful. Because it's a hermaphrodite. So when it leans into its feminine side, oh, it's the best, it's the beautiful. Oh, Babylon, great. Give me some. Oh, because we love you. Home
Welcome
of the
Babylon, home of the Babylon. They take it away.
But really, it's disgusting. It's vile. It's getting drunk off the blood off the saints. Who you think they putting in prisons? Who you think they murdering when they have these abortion clinics? And then knock to us that didn't know when we went there, or we sent our women there to go give our children off to Baal. We didn't know. But they did. And still take your children. They could adrenochrome. That's something that only babies could produce. And they drink it. They put it in their skin so they could look like babies. All right. They could look younger. All right. So I'm just letting you know what war we fighting, y'all. The gloves are off. Y'all not babies anymore. Y'all not kids anymore. Y'all young adults, young men. And this is where y'all do y'all fighting. Yeah, they're gonna come after me more mentally. They're gonna come after all of us mentally. But excuse me, you guys more mental, me more physical, because they're thinking I'm getting weaker.
Mm.
So have your wits about you. That third eye, yes, it's real, but they're using it to perverse it.
Mm.
That pineal understanding, that's really what it was for, the pineal. They just was talking about the third eye because they were talking about where it stood in your physical head. You have access to the set apart spirit. You have access to the spirit realm. You have access. You can dial up the Most High. You can dial up Yahshua. You can strengthen. You can upgrade your spiritual armor.
Facts.
Your sword could get better because you're reading the word,
Extra
right?
facts.
Video
Your
game.
shield could get stronger because you can get your shield to be bigger. Like how Iron Man, I loved it, and I'm watching it. How Iron Man was fighting Thanos, and he put that shield up to get to shield him from the blast. It could be as small as just how Captain America had it on his arm, or it could be as large as what Thanos had. I mean, Captain America had. And I hate to use them as an example, but that's what they give us when they programmed us.
I mean, they did take him from scripture.
They took all of it,
Another fact.
all of it. So it's our love. This is a love story from our beloved Elohim to us. Like, I haven't forgotten you. Those of you that choose to listen, I'm going to even send you my son. So what I'm telling them, this is what I want y'all to feel like when y'all call Uncle Woody. It's like, yo, our father gave us a direction. Our uncle gave us a direction. You will have us with y'all. We're coming with the set apart spirit. You don't gotta say it like that, but just to understand, we're coming to be received by you. But some of y'all may not get us. Some of y'all may not understand
I
us.
was on my dick because I was like clean rich.
We will be misunderstood possibly amongst the group, but we will be here to bring the group up. We're here for you. Just like they needed Yahshua in the time of the Romans. Because we were running stuff, y'all. Like, please don't forget, we were running stuff. We just was losing our place because we were crazy. Now, here's a secret. Here's a secret. I'm starting to learn. It was like, all right, we been coming at y'all generation with a wooden cross and stone, with a stone man getting crucified for you to worship. We're going to give you an iPhone 13 for you to worship. Matter of fact, we're going to give you Snapchat. We're going to give you TikTok. We're gonna give you Facebook, right? We're gonna give you Instagrams, right? Just so you can worship yourself.
Yeah.
Just so you can worship other people. And we're gonna find a way to put the ghosts, we're gonna find a way to put demons in the machines. Unclean spirits in these machines, because we can't live nowhere else. If y'all don't, we're gonna access your vessels through these machines. We need you. We need blood. We need all of that to operate. And you're gonna give it to us. You're gonna consent. You're gonna vote for the lesser of two evils, but you're gonna be evil yourself. That's the only way that vote could really take place. Unless you're filled with the set apart spirit and say, no, we're gonna go another way. Excuse me. Our family, no. We're gonna have the Most High here. Excuse me. We're not even that deep. We're not even supposed to be that deep. He didn't pick us because we were the deepest. He didn't pick us because we were the tallest, the strongest, the most beautiful, or say we were Christians. Nah. He didn't pick us for that. He picked us because he picked us because he had an affinity for our bloodline. Adam was chosen, y'all. I'm not going to front to y'all. He was the first anointed. He was the first chosen. There was others. The Most High said, you know what? I'll do it with dirt. He could have just been like, yeah, I'll start with this bloodline for me. He's like, I'll do it with dirt. Made it in our image. Who's us? The heavenly kingdom. The Most High is a king of kings of kings of kings. Only kings could speak like that. That's why I want y'all to get ready to speak like that. That's why I want to infuse. And it's sad I'm doing it on my own, but that's why I want to leave gigabit, gig pop, because it makes you a small sovereign nation. Kings could speak like, yeah, I, Israel. We can speak, once we understand our position, then we can speak like I, for I the Father, as Yeshua did. But for that, it's going to take discipline. A level of discipline that can only come by way of the Father, if we ask Him. So, Heavenly Father, I lead right into it. Guide our tongues and our hearts as we read your scriptures, we read your word, and get closer to you. Heavenly Father, we have weeks that we miss, but it's no worries. It's for you we come about here this Saturday, discover and detect your words and dig out your findings. Because it is the glory of kings to seek, and it's your glory for you to hide and find. This is a beautiful game of tag, of hide and go seek. Because we win every time we find it. Every time we get an Easter egg, life gets better. Thank you for giving us little bits of heaven on earth. I get heaven on earth when I talk to this young Sire Pooh and young Sire Big. It's there. So in your name, we read on. In the blood of Yeshua, we live on. Amen. All right, where are we, gentlemen?
Amen.
Now came back, Kings 2, chapter 21.
Oh, we got that far? You said more. Oh, because I was using a book. Okay. Yeah, I was using the book. Okay.
Oh, you back on your phone now?
No, I'm okay. So that's so crazy. Big, I love you because you're an iPhone person. I ain't gonna front. I miss the note. I really do. But the iPhone kicks tail in every facet of recording. I gotta get two phones. So I say all that to say, I've uploaded on here. I haven't even used it yet here, right? It's still on the tablet. So from the last time I used the tablet, it was on maybe chapter 15. It ended on that. So it didn't. I got the book in between the tablet and the phone, and I don't know, something about the book. So I got the tablet and the book open as we speak. I just said all that to say.
True.
This will be the last reading of this book. This will be the last reading of this book. The last 5 chapters.
Where did all this fun go? Good times. Good times.
We're all asleep.
All right, so listen. Let's see if we got some good if anybody could jump in without, looking into it and tell us, where we were at and from there to now, like a synopsis. Catch us up.
Can you explain that a little more?
Yeah, of course, I'll unpack that. Meaning, how sometimes in an episode of a series, they'll tell you previously on Ready to Die. Like, what can you guys remember in this? We're closing this out. We're closing this book out. What you guys can remember, take away from, or add from, not add, take away from the word, but just take in.
Let's see.
I would say that there was a bunch of kings, but all the kings failed once they took the true king off their mind, Yahweh, the Most High.
Mm. Mm. Love it, babe. Top to them. Dude, what are you taking? And it could be anything. Like, remember, we're the detectives. We gotta start piecing these things in.
Pretty much kind of what David said. Because as soon as people mistake the Most High as like disregard. I'm just gonna say, since people disregard the Most High, things just start going downhill.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna add to this, and I'm gonna jump in and do my best to be not to say too much. Just like today, people are questioning at that time, was there even really the Most High? Like, mind you, we're years removed from Moses at this stage. Years, like, if not centuries, right? If not centuries. So to them, Moses is as old to them as it is to us. Like, I guess. Some of these people were born into it. So right now, if you're born into it, you're looking at LGBT, you're looking at LGBTQ. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You're building monuments. Like, oh, it's just an expression of Baphomet. It's just a rock and roll expression. It's not a big deal. What? Why we put the Bible in school? That's locking us off. This tyrannical. We should believe in more than one thing. They were saying the same thing then. They putting poles up in places they're not supposed. You're the king. You're my direct representation on this. Your blood. It matters. What are you doing? That's like y'all sending me, or y'all going to the party, right? Hey, Uncle Woody, we represent. We going to the party, representing Maryland set. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all start grinding on each other, talking about like this how me and Pooh, we saw this on the way from the bus station. We saw two men kissing each other.
Oh no.
You see him saying how it's just I want to say sad, but it's easy. Trust me, it's easy. We're saying, oh no, because we're building up our armor. We're getting protected. Like, nobody's just going to run up on us. It's going to be rare for somebody to sneak up on us in Call of Duty and do melee kills. And if that happens, trust we will hear it. Like, if we're playing with each other and we can't see it, like, oh my, we will hear it. Even Pooh. It'll be like, but we'll know what that means, right? So that's what it is. They didn't even know that they were getting got. They didn't even, because gentlemen, I swear to you, once you're in the high place, right? Once you get up there, whatever career path, but that's why I would do my best to shield y'all with these businesses. But once you start shaking elbows, we saw it with Uncle Deary. Once you start they need to fill these vessels up. Uncle Deary, when you see him by himself, he's a hump. He can. When you pay attention to Uncle Deary, he's a humpback. He has a speech impediment. He says that after when he gets hyped, you see that. He has deformities. He walks weird. So guess who, if they put in a high place, it's easy for us to convert his vessel over to us. And guess what he was doing? And this was happening right next to us. He started changing the, whatchamacallit boys? The, what's their last name, Big? You remember? Legrand's. He was converting them. Poor Rob, who was closest to him and had the family name, was getting it the worst. Y'all remember when we first met them on the roof in Virginia? They wasn't saying all that filthy, nasty stuff, excuse my French, Heavenly Father, and gentlemen. They wasn't doing that. But given time around Deary, they were talking about weird things. Who talks like this? I understand when we're playing games, there's going to be gamers. I got it. But just like regular people, what are y'all doing? So the temptation is real to convert as a king. Once you get your crown, they're coming for you. Because at the end of the day, it's hey, Heavenly Father, you gave us free will. See how many people chose, once you gave me free will, how many people chose evil continuously? How many people will choose how they'll forget you? How they'll turn their backs on you? Act like you never even existed. Lil Wayne, I love it. I hope he repents for it. But I love the fact that he said, because we'll probably be here to hear him have to repent. He said, the Bible is a comic book to me. Like, really? All right. You went out of your way to put this in a rhyme so people could hear it? You didn't have to say that, but your masters told you to say that. To weaken the position of the Most High. It can't be weakened. Are you a fool? It's all right. That's what these kings went through. Each of these poor children of David. It was part of the curse of David, his personal curse. It will break your house under your watch. I'm not going to let it happen to you, because I will provide you heaven on earth. You followed me. You lived as you, matter of fact, parts of you, Yahshua's blood is going to be in you. And you and him.
I gotta take the dogs out.
We're here. And you and him. So one for one. A connection is real. And they can't tell me it's not. It's crazy. I'm looking at Uncle Jonesy like it's like I'm looking at my little brother I never wanted. Never wanted. Met him in the army, big. Like, you want to have these little brothers, these disciples, big, you never asked for. These people going to be singing about clean rich, as they should. But clean rich got to be mindful that the adversaries in some of these praises too. Satanayus in some of those flatteries. Building you up. Trying to build you in his image. Attempting to take you from the Most High. Oh man, that was a nice rap you did. Oh, those lyrics you did. Oh man, the game you played. And guess what you gonna do? We're human. You may take it and run with it. You may grow and fester and say, you know what? I don't need to wear the armor today. I'm good. You is the man. Well, I need to put the armor on today. It's never gonna happen to me. I'm all right. I'm not even planning on going for it. I'm gonna just go right around the corner. I don't need it. You get to see a great fire, even though it's planned. They plan, but the Most High plan better. We need to be reminded who we are. That's the way our crowns is secured on our heads, even if it's tilted. That's how we ensure that this word get passed on to the right people. Because it's not for everybody. This is not for everybody. Not for the faint-hearted. I tell you for sure. Because to stand with the Most High in any phase of this time of captivity, it'd be death. We wasn't popular in Louisville. We weren't popular in Canton. They tried to draw us as these Bible thumping prunes. No, we far from it. It's just we were disciplined. And look how the misery they brought onto themselves. And we rode off. We rode off into the sunset. We rode off in the night, like a thief, to be correct. We left at night. And the worst came to them, big. Yeah, we suffered. Don't get me wrong. When it rains on everyone. But some people get flooded out. And some people have umbrellas.
Bars.
So, we got to keep to this, because the more we keep, big, the moment we let it go, oh my, it's going to be right there. And you know what, it's a blessing? You know what's amazing? The moment we repent, we start over. That's the gift he gave us. We can run a foul. There's certain fouls we can't. I don't think we can sit here and say we can eat a child and get away with that. I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not testing that. And I'm not testing eat. Big, I'm sorry. If you were to do something like that, you may have me as an enemy. I could love my enemy, but I still got to vanquish them. Still war. It's noble. We are on a different path. We are protectors of the word in our hearts. We have to defend that. That's why we need that breastplate of righteousness. Armor we building. Because we're not getting armor for no reason. You're not John Master Chief for no reason with that suit for no reason. That suit was built for war. Master Chief's whole outfit was built for war.
Facts. Wait, you see the stream?
The stream?
You saw it?
Oh, the stream.
That's the outfit I have on right now in the stream.
Oh, let me see.
That's crazy.
I can see the stream?
I put it in
Show me how to do
WhatsApp.
that. Oh, the WhatsApp. Hold on.
When you said the Master Chief armor was built for war, I thought you saw it on the stream.
Hold on. But see the synchronicity that the Most High. Wait, so.
Yeah, facts.
I'm in the Twix thing. The Twix. The Twix. On the stream. I only see a bust of you, big. How do I see that?
You said you only see what?
Your bust. Like, I see your bust and it says Little Emperor 25. Playing Fortnite.
It doesn't say like.
It says welcome to the chat room. Start watching. Sorry. Let me see. Oh, that's L. I see it. Oh, this is going on as we speak. This is lit.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear the delay. Oh, this is lit. Big, you know what I'm gonna have to do? Once we start growing, when I'm investing, right, is a blue screen,
Blue screen.
right? A blue green screen. So we'll put it in the back of you, and we could start to put like our logos. That's
Yeah,
more
that's what
business,
most
but
streamers do.
yeah, I'm gonna set that up. Now I see how it is. Let me see. We're gonna go. So, do I say this, Heavenly Father?
I mean,
Can we
I
have a
already
meeting tomorrow?
understand.
Can we have a meeting, a business meeting tomorrow between me, you, and Pooh? Pooh,
Yeah,
yourself, and me? Because I need to catch y'all up what's going on. But I don't want to. I don't want to talk. I don't want to disrespect the Most High in any form.
yeah.
But I could see. I could see how we can get the green screen. Yeah, I'm gonna set everything up tomorrow. Yeah. What I'm gonna do is this is lit.
Wait, you gotta turn down the stream though, cause
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
and
I'm
the
sorry.
echo.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
you know,
good.
I'll go first.
There you go. You want the I can give you the what is it, the 9 if you want it. I'll
Don't
take the,
matter.
you two can have the 9, I could take the 8.
It don't matter.
I do.
Menashe was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 50 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Hephzibah. Hephzibah. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, according to the abominations of the nations whom Yahweh dispossessed before the children of Israel. For when he turned and built the high places with Hizkiyahu, his father had destroyed, and raised up slaughter places for Baal, and made an Asherah, as Ahab, sovereign of Israel, had done. And he bowed himself to all the hosts of the heavens and served them. And he built slaughter places in the house of Yahweh, of which Yahweh had said, In Jerusalem I put my name. And he built slaughter places for all the hosts of the heavens in the 2 courtyards of the house of Yahweh. And he made his son pass through the fire, and practiced magic, and used divination, and consulted spiritists and mediums. He did such evil in the eyes of Yahweh to provoke him. And he placed a carved image of Asherah that he had made in the sovereign house, of which Yahweh had said to David and to Shlomo his son, In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I put my name forever. And no more shall I cause the feet of Israel to move from the soil which I gave their fathers, only if they guard to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the Torah that my servant Moshe commanded them.
You got one more bit.
But they, no, I think it's a gate.
Okay,
Oh
okay.
no, but they did not
Oh,
obey, and Manasseh led
never
them
mind.
astray to do
Sorry.
more evil than the nations whom Yahweh had destroyed before the children of Israel.
And Yahweh spoke by his servants, the prophets, saying, Because Menashashev, sovereign of Yehuda, has done these abominations, having done more evil than all the Amorites who were before him, also made Yehuda sin with his idols. Oops. Therefore, thus said Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, See, I am bringing such evil upon Jerusalem and Yehuda, that both ears of those who hear it shall tingle. And I shall stretch over Jerusalem the measuring line of Shomerah, and the plummet of the house of Ahab, and shall wipe Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. And I shall forsake the remnant of my inheritance, and give them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall be for a prey and for a plunder to all their enemies. Because they have done evil in my eyes, and have provoked me since the day their fathers came out of Mitzrayim, even to this day. And also, Menashaseh shed very much innocent blood. until he had filled Yerushalayim from one end to the other. Besides his, besides his, besides his sin with which he made Yehuda sin, in doing evil in the eyes of Yahweh. And as to the acts of Menashashev and all that he did, and the sin that he committed, are they not written in the books of the annals of the sovereigns of Yehuda? So Menashashev slept with his fathers and was buried in the garden of his own house, in the garden of Uzzah, and his son Amon reigned in his place.
Amon was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. And the name of his mother was Meshulemeth, the daughter of Harasus of Yotabah. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, as his father Menashashe had done, and walked in all the ways of his father did walk, and served the idols his father had served, and bowed himself to them, and forsook Yahweh, Elohim of his fathers, and did not walk in the way of Yahweh. And the servants of Ammon conspired against him, and killed the sovereign in his own house. But the people of the land instruct all those who had to spy against the sovereign Ammon, and the people of the land set up his son Yoshiahu to reign in his place. And the rest of the act of Ammon, which he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereign of Yehuda? And he was buried in his burial place in the garden of Uzzah, and his son Yoshiahu reigned in his place. So Pete, so you guys understand deeper, like none of this stuff is new. In Malik and Beth, 2 Kings, the 21st chapter, it jumps right into it in verse 3, where he turned to build the high places which Hezekiah, his father, had destroyed, and raised starting places for Baal, and made Asherah as Ahab, sovereign of Israel, had done, and bowed himself to all the hosts of heavens and served them. The host of heavens is still here, y'all. When we talk about, oh, Pooh he's a Libra, and Big, he's a, what the heck, what would they call you, Big? You'll be a Libra too, right?
Libra too, yeah.
Yeah,
Dollar and Pooh.
They're all Libras. And Bree, she's a Capricorn, like Uncle Marvin. And I'm a Taurus. Uncle Greg is an X. Those are signs. Those are stars that we have learned to worship. Those are demons, really. Name of the demonic forces, are probably the fallen in their name, that 12 of them that we have chosen to worship for some odd reason. And when you say you're a Libra, you just become a child of that sign, of that house. You take on all the demonic aspects of that whatever it is. So I could be patient, right? I could learn patience and practice that. But you're a Taurus, so you're supposed to be stubborn-headed. No, that's the deity that's that. You're making me a vessel of that deity. So when I tattoo a bull on my arm, guess what I become? I dedicate myself to that deity. Then I go to church and say I'm a Christian, to go sit and worship a cross and say, oh, I'm with the Most High knows my heart. You fool. That's nothing of the Most High. When they talk about in the in Malachim Bet, 2 Kings, the 21st chapter, in the verse 6, said, and he made his son pass through the fire, and practiced magic, and used divination, and consulted spirits and mediums. He did much evil in the eyes of Yahweh to provoke him. He did all this stuff. I don't know fully what the pass through fire means. But it could be something as simple as, all right, man, I gotta let this kid become an artist, a musician, so I'm gonna send him to Hollywood so they could play with this guy's butthole. I don't know. I just know I don't want no parts of it. practice magic. Foolish scientists think they know what they know. That science is really magic, and magic is really science. Because they're theories and they haven't proved it yet. And use divination, meaning that they were trying to, like how you seeing the stars and getting into there's people that still do that, talking about like, yeah, in your past life. And no, it's not your past life, it's intact with the demonic possessions in you, past possessions. That's like a parasite that could jump on you, but he could still remember what he did to the last person. These are real, like out of body experiences, people letting spirits jump into them. I remember watching the X-Men movie, and they were trying to show how, what's that last, not that last guy, was able to transfer people's spirit, jump into people's bodies, or transfer some of their bodies' essence into them. All in the same vein.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. They keep that same energy.
I like Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if we really, like, okay, we can enjoy it for entertainment. But imagine if we're like, you know what? I wonder how Samsung does that. And we start every Saturday, hey, we got a Ouija board, guys. We can have a seance and learn how to jump into other people's spirits.
Oh, heck no.
That's how they do. Now, oh, that's the new one, Big. That's what I was talking about. There's a new one. They talk about dual spirits in the LGBTQ now. Now you can have a spirit of a man and a woman in you.
What it do, Daniel?
Right? So all these are abominations to the Most High. And I don't care what you say. I mean, Mima, I love you to death. But even putting a cross in your house can be considered an idol. Grandma, Ma, you know what I'm saying? You know I love grandma. You know I love y'all grandmother. But those pictures of a white dude with a heart and holes in his hands, that's not of the Most High. The Most High, there is nothing. It says don't put up any image. Don't do it and worship it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't build an altar with pictures of your family and little dolls. Leonard, what are you doing? What are you doing? And how can I see and know so much and be like, I'm home here. I feel good here. Oh, you guys are putting up abominations and divinations, but yeah, home sweet home. How could I, knowing this stuff? I can't. It's hard. I'd rather put nothing on my wall just so I don't offend. And I'm not excusing myself for not having decorum, but I'd rather not.
Damn, Daniel. Church is life, man. With people you love. No cap.
You?
You gonna be on video.
Yeah.
Hit me, sir. Talk to me.
Huh?
Plus, I just noticed how it's kind of like as you talking like before we started the reading, like how people see something and then they're just like, oh, that's got to be the correct way to do it. I'm gonna do that. Like monkey see, monkey do type of thing. They see it, they do it.
And that's dope that you brought that up, because that's also that do what thy wilt, right? And in scripture, they talk about men following what righteousness is in their heart, what they think is right. So if I was to just take two parents and say I will babysit their children while they're away and wait to hit them with the indoctrinations of whatever.
Yeah.
And now the kids are thinking they're right because they're just right because mom and dad is wrong for not letting them eat cookies and candy when they want to. You do what you want to. That's why it's a tough act for
Yeah, I'm
us.
in
And
church.
it's not hard, but it's tough because as a
It's
king,
like
you do
Bible
what you
study.
want, right?
Varley and
But then you also, as a servant of the Most High, there's ordinance to follow.
Yeah.
So there's a weird, you do what you want, but it's like, hey, I choose to follow that. Because we're studying these kings doing what they're wanting to do.
I was in the lobby the whole time.
But who will get rewarded? You're still a king. You understand, gentlemen? Who will get rewarded with this gift of everlasting life in the end? We're going to write it down. We're going to figure out who it is. But this gift is not going to be for everybody. It can't. It can't. We can't just have you thinking evil. When he said forever, he meant it.
Yeah.
He didn't say, okay, until, 2002. He didn't say, you know what, until the cows come home. He said forever. So when he's saying forever, as an immortal, we understand that we can inherit that. We have access to it. We have rights, spiritual, legal rights. Just like how you guys have inheritance to everything I'll leave behind, both physical and the spiritual. If I do leave behind anything, you know what I'm saying? I can have all my 25 cents in the savings account, share it, don't leave out the sisters.
You're gonna put like a meme on us, are you? It's like,
Eric,
you say you broke and then it's passed on. You got like $1 million in the bank.
$1 million in that. All right, man. On to the next. Oh wow, this is short one.
Damn, I feel you, Daniel. Like, you gotta believe in Jesus, bro. It's the only way you can believe in reincarnation. No cap.
So 2 people will have 7, 1 person will have 6.
Yes, sir.
Take the 6.
Alright. Yoshiyahu was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Yedida, the daughter of Adiah of Bozkath. And he did what was right in the eyes of Yahweh, and walked in all the ways of his father David, and did not turn aside, right or left. And it came to be in the 18th year of sovereign Yoshiyahu, that the sovereign sent Shaphan the scribe, son of Adsaliyahu, son of Meshulam, to the house of Yahweh, saying, Go up to Hilkiyahu the high priest, and let him weigh the silver which has been brought into the house of Yahweh, which the doorkeepers have gathered from the people, and let them give it into the hand of those doing the work, who are the overseers in the house of Yahweh. And let them give it to those who are in the house of Yahweh doing the work, to strengthen the breach of the house, to carpenters and to builders, and to stonemasons, and to buy timber and hewn stone to strengthen the house. However, let not the silver given into their hand be reckoned with them, for they are acting trustworthily.
And Hilkiah the high priest said to Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the Torah in the house of Yahweh. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. And Shaphan the scribe came to the sovereign, and brought word to the sovereign again, saying, Your servants have gathered the silver that was found in the house, and have given it into the hand of those who do the work, who oversee the house of Yahweh. And Shaphan the scribe informed the sovereign, saying, Hilkiah the priest has given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the sovereign. And it came to be, when the sovereign heard the words of the book of the Torah, that he tore his garments. And the sovereign commanded Hilkiah the priest and Ahikam, son of Shaphan, and Akbor, son of Micaiah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Asaiah, a servant of the sovereign, saying, Go inquire of Yahweh for me, for the people, and for all Yehuda, concerning the words of this book that have been found. For great is the wrath of Yahweh that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not obeyed the word of this book, and do according to all that is written concerning us. Hilkiah the priest, and Ahikam, and Akbor, and Shaphan, and Asaiah went to Huldah, prophetess, the wife of Shalom, son of Tikwa, son of Haras, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she was dwelling in Yerushalayim in the second quarter, when they spoke with her. And she said to them, Thus said Yahweh, Elohim of Israel. Oh wait, I got too far.
You're feeling it, sir. You're feeling it. You're feeling it. Ain't want to stop you, man. You want to keep going?
Nah, I'm like getting ready. Mama just said she's on her way.
Sorry. Okay, I'm on it.
Might be cut off.
And she said to them, Thus says Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, say to the man who sent you to me, Thus says Yahweh, see, I am bringing evil on this place and on its inhabitants, and all the words of the book which the sovereign of Yehuda has read, because they have forsaken me and burned incense to other mighty ones to provoke me with all the works of their hands. And so my wrath shall be kindled against this place and not be quenched. And to the sovereigns of Yehuda, who sent you to inquire of Yahweh, say to him, Thus says Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, as for the words which you have heard, because your heart was tender, and you humbled yourself before Yahweh, when you heard what I spoke against this place and against its inhabitants, that they would become a ruin and a curse, and have torn your garments and wept before me. I also have heard, declare Yahweh. Therefore, see, I am gathering you to your fathers, and you shall be gathered to your burial site in peace, so that your eyes do not see all the evils I am bringing on this place. And they brought the words to the sovereign. Shoot, let's start with you this time around, because I know you're in a hurry.
I feel like the group of guys I was mentioning in the beginning, they realized the suffering everyone's going through, and it's all because people didn't follow the words of the mighty one. It looked like they're trying to fix everything or put things back the way it should be.
Right. Big.
I mean, what I gotta say is that you can see how stuff is going smoothly when you follow Yahweh.
Lit. Another thing I wanted to have you guys take notice to in Malik and Beth, 2 Kings, the 22nd chapter, in verse 4, right? Verse 1 was dope because you guys be like, yo, we're children. As kings, the responsibility comes to you when it's your turn, not when it's your age. Mind you, Yoshiah was 8 when he took reign. Not 8 when he was just like, he took reign, took leadership. So be mindful of that. Another thing I want you to be mindful of, you know, this, oh yeah, the Most High will send it, and da 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 da, this, that, and the third, right? The silver what they're using was from the house of Yahweh to help fix the house of Yahweh. Like, it's here. That's, I keep reminding you, it's here on earth. Like your little miracles, or you'll see signs in your own way if you're in tune. It's not going to be some imaginary place. It's here. So these people are getting paid because they were trustworthy with the silver from the house of the Most High. That's how they found the book, the Torah. It was on the Most High's purpose, right? Because he could have stayed generations back, because they could have found the book and got right and realized that, wait, we're doing wrong. So scripture, the book, the Torah, is a measuring stone. It's almost like a barometer. It's almost like a tool of measure of how kings should be. Starting from the first king, that's the Most High. And giving Adam just authority to not only build his garden, but to be the image for the world to follow. And then they fall, yes, they followed the wrong thing. I got it. They saw the message and followed the wrong. They received the wrong message, as they should. Which, like, once again, nothing is new under the sun. Nothing. Same thing happened in the day. Same thing that happened in that other time. All right, moving on to the next. Oh, they gave us enough meat for
You guys mind if
everybody to have
I pause
talk.
right here?
And the sovereign sent, and they gathered all the elders of Yehuda and Jerusalem to him. And the sovereign went up to the house of Yahweh with all the men of Yehuda and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with him, and the priests and the prophets and all the people, both small and great. And he read in their hearing all the words of the book of the covenant which had been found in the house of Yahweh. And the sovereign stood by the column and made a covenant before Yahweh to follow Yahweh and to guard his commands and his witnesses and his laws with all his heart and all his being, to establish the words of this covenant that were written in this book. And all the people stood to the covenant. Then the sovereign commanded Hilkiyahu, the high priest, and the priests of the second order, and the doorkeepers to bring out all the hekel of Yahweh, all the objects that were made for Baal and for Asherah, and for all the host of the heavens. And he burned them outside Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron, and took their ashes to Bethel. And he put down the black-robed priests, whom the sovereigns of Yehuda had appointed to burn incense on the high places in the cities of Yehuda, and in the places all around Jerusalem, and those who burned incense to Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the
Hmm.
constellations, and to all the
Hmm.
hosts of the heavens.
Stupid.
And he brought out the Asherah from the house of Yahweh to the Wadi Quidron outside Jerusalem, and burned it at the Wadi Quidron, and ground
Go.
it to ashes, and threw its ashes on the burial sites of the sons of the people. And he
Dang.
broke down the houses of the male cult prostitutes that were in the house of Yahweh, where the
Talk to me.
women wove tapestries for the Asherah. And he brought all the priests from the cities of Yehuda, and defiled the high places where the priests had burned incense, from Geba to Beersheba, and broke down the high places at the gates which were at the entrance of the gate of Yehoshua, the governor of the city, which were to the left of the city gate, However, the priests of the high places did not come up to the slaughter place of Yahweh in Jerusalem, but they ate unleavened bread among their brothers. And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, so that no man could make his son or his daughter pass through the fire to Molech. And he did away with the horses that the sovereigns of Yehuda had given to the sun at the entrance to the house of Yahweh, by the room of Nathan Melech the eunuch, that were in the court, and he burned the chariots of the sun with fire. And the slaughter places that were on the roof of the upper room of Ahaz, which the sovereign of Yehuda had made, and the slaughter places which Manasseh had made in the two courtyards of the house of Yahweh, the sovereign broke down and rushed from there, and threw their dust in the Wadi Kidron.
Go, boy.
And the sovereign defiled the high places that were before Yerushalayim, which were on the right hand of the mountain of destruction, which Shlomo, sovereign of Israel, built for Ashtoreth, the abomination of the Sidonians, and for Chemosh, the abomination of the Moabites, and for Milcom, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And he broke in pieces the pillars, and cut down the Asherim, and filled their places with the bones of men. And also the slaughter place that was at Bethel, the high places which Jeroboam son of Nebat made, by which he made Israel sin. Both that slaughter place and the high place he broke down, and he burned the high place and ground it to dust, and burned the Asherah. Then Yoshiyahu turned and saw the burial sites that were there on the mountain. And he sent and took the bones out of the burial sites and burned them on the slaughter place, and defiled it according to the word of Yahweh, which the man of Elohim proclaimed, who proclaimed these words. He said, "What tombstone is this that I see?" And the men in the city said to him, "It is a burial site of the man of Elohim, who came from Yehuda, and proclaimed these matters which you have done against the slaughter place of Bethel." And he said, "Let him alone. Let no one move his bones." So they left his bones alone, with the bones of the prophet who came from Shomron. And Yoshiyahu took away all the houses of the high places that were in the cities of Shomron, which the sovereigns of Israel had made to provoke. And he did to them according to all the deeds he did in Bethel. And he slaughtered all the priests of the high places who were there on the slaughter places, and burned men's bones on them, and went back to Yerushalayim. And the sovereign commanded all the people, saying, "Prepare the Pesha to Yahweh. Prepare the Pesha to Yahweh your Elohim, as it is written in this book of the covenant. For such a Pesha, is it Pesha?
Yeah, Pesha is Passover.
Okay. For such a Pesha had not been prepared since the days of the rulers who ruled Israel, nor in all the days of the sovereigns of Israel and the sovereigns of Yehuda. But in the 18th year of the sovereign Yoshiyahu, this Pesha was prepared before Yahweh and Yerushalayim. And also Yoshiyahu put away all those who consulted mediums and spiritists, the household of the mighty ones and idols, and all the abominations that were seen in the land of Yehuda and Yerushalayim, in order to establish the words of the Torah, which are written in the book of the Hilkiyahu, the priest found in the house of Yahweh.
And before him there was no sovereign like him, who turned back to Yahweh with all his heart, and with all his being, and with all his might, according to the Torah of Moshe. After him none rose up like him. However, Yahweh did not turn from the fierceness in his great wrath, which his wrath burned against Yehuda, because all the provocations which Manasseh has provoked him. And Yahweh said, "Even Yehuda I shall remove from my presence. And I have removed Israel, and I shall reject the city in Jerusalem, which I have chosen. and the house of which I say my name is there. And the rest of the acts of Yoshiyahu and all he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereign of Yehuda? In his day, Pharaoh Necho, sovereign of Mizraim, went up against the sovereign of Ashur to the rivers of Euphrates. And sovereign Hoshiahu went out to him, and he killed him at Midigo when he saw him. And his servants conveyed his body in chariots from Midigo and brought him into Jerusalem, and buried him on his own burial place. And the people of the land took Yehoyaz, Yehoyaz, son of Yoshiahu, and anointed him, and set him to reign in his father's place. Yehoyaz was 23 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 new moons in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Yeremiyahu of Liban. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, according to all that his fathers did. And Pharaoh Necho imprisoned him in Riblah, the land of Hamath, to keep him from reigning in Jerusalem. And he imposed on the land a fine of 100 talents of silver and talents of gold. And Pharaoh Necho set up Eliakim, son of Yoshalim, to reign in the place of his father in Yoshiahu, and changed his name to Yehoiakim. The Pharaoh took Jehoahaz and went to Mizraim, and he died there. And Jehoiakim gave the silver and the gold to Pharaoh. Only he taxed the land to give silver according to the mouth of Pharaoh. He exacted the silver and gold from the people of the land, from everyone according to his assignment, to give it to Pharaoh Necho. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Zebadah, the daughter of Pedaiah of Rumah. And he did evils in the eye of Yahweh according to all that his father did.
Here we go.
Wow. Here we go, right? It's so easy for us to jack this up. Wow. A part that caught me was, Yerushalayim. How do I pronounce it? Yoshiahu was going to war. He was cleansing this place. He was purging Israel from the evil in its midst. He said he broke down poles and put men's bones in place. He was
not playing. Ought to go back to the.
Not playing around.
Yeah.
Not playing around. So when you feel it was just too much, it was just too late. Most High saw everything he did though. So never think it's too late for you, but to save your generation, to save Mima, generation from the curse that Mima knows she's under, I had to do a lot. I'm still doing some things to save myself, to save us, the future, from Poppy's curse. I'm still having to do certain things. So, that's like me petitioning for them. Like, hey, Most High, I'm walking this way. Please make their road, their path to you easier. Light their way when they awaken and being judged. Right? Big. Talk to me, sir.
But man, I just think that's why Yahweh, like, he let Jesus die for our sins, because he knows humans they're not, like, they're easily trolled or, like, pushed off to the wrong path.
I agree. And Big, understand this too, right, gentlemen? It's not just for Big. Between the genders, right? The women is a weaker vessel. Between the spiritual realm, because they're gonna tell you, you're gonna be like, oh, crazy ass uncle was talking about this. My pop's crazy dad was talking about this, right? They're gonna break to you that they know of 10 dimensions. Really 9. The 10th one is mysterious. They know that there's a 10, but they can only identify 9. That's why we only have 0 to 9. Right? They reflect that in dimension talk. And 0 they don't even know about. Like they don't even know how to touch 0. But they know 1, 2, 3. They know about 4 because 4 is time. Spatial, time, everything. To those being, we're the lesser beings. They could just ravish us anytime they want. Just imagine entering somebody's soul or entering somebody's body. That person must not be nothing to you. And you're like, man, how can somebody you can leave your essence on somebody. Just like how Big started saying hip and stuff like that. When people start taking that, they taking the essence of Big. I mean, even the way he talks, they taking the essence. His spirit now is entering in there. You know what I'm saying? Even as they talk. So it's nothing for a being to jump into us lesser beings. Like another part of us that took it and was like in Malach and Beth, 2 Kings, the 23rd chapter, verse 7. And he said, and he broke down the house of the male cult prostitutes that were in the house of Yahweh, where the woman wove tapestry for the Asherah. That's no different from LGBT. You're a male cult prostitute. You're doing this, right? You're just saying, hey, I'm gay, but really, it's a ritual for Baal. Or you want to say, oh, well, no, it's not for Baal. It's for of Horus. And we're moving for Osiris. They're the same thing. Right? When these hoteppers are gonna come at you because you guys are gonna have to battle, you're gonna battle, you're gonna carry out swords. And the hotep is like, man, the Ankh represents unity in African culture and unification. No, it represents the male and the female part. Because these same things was here. These cult prostitutes were giving their bodies up to enter because they were saying the eye of Horus is better than the mouth of Hathor. So they were saying that, and the eye of Horus is the guy's butthole in some areas. So for these cult prostitutes to happen, so you can let another man's energy into you, it's weird. But it's the same thing. But they're gonna act like it's new. It's new. No, it's the same old
Everybody
lie.
likes new.
Everybody likes new. It's the same old lie. This you're gonna see the strong kind of angel. There's a better word for it. That's gonna have women body parts, like women breasts, but male arms, and probably hair like a woman. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's old.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, but this is their abominations. Like when I was reading this, I never understood like what could be so bad. I'm like, wait a minute, it's here still. It hasn't left. Gone nowhere. And then here's the crazy part. They took it back to where if you say something about it, you're the outlaw. You're the rebel. Because, we want to practice old practice. No, the old practice they're talking about in code is the laws, statute, and commandments. They know about it. They just want to act like they don't. They'll hit you with Egyptology, and no, it's not just Egypt, it's Babylon. But they hide it with Egyptology. Look at where the Pharaoh, the Most High is using the Pharaoh, Nico, to punish his children. As all of these generations of you guys is doing these abominations. Yeah, it's got me sick to my stomach. Somebody has to pay. Shoot. Now shoot, now shoot. Come on, man. Let us talk too. We all got to share in this, please.
Nah, I said most of what I was gonna say. Lucky did a deep cleansing, just for somebody to come on it and make it dirty again.
Right around the corner, so easily. That's like big. You do all this work, and your son just turn around and be like, "Ah, Fooey, my dad was too much of a Bible thumper." My friends are telling my dad because guess what? They're getting at your children in kindergarten now.
Facts.
How do you
That's why
think this
you gotta
happened?
discipline your
Go ahead.
kid early.
Early,
Discipline him with knowledge.
early. We are lost, my friends. We got to get back. Got to get back. And these guys don't do anything to help us. We're supposed to be getting, as we get closer, guess what? There's another barrier as a whole. Not for the remnant. Remnant's always on point. But for the whole, there's always a barrier for the whole until the appointed time. We can't even pray for the appointed time to come quicker. Because it is what it is. It's the appointed time. On to the next one, gentlemen. We got plenty of things.
776.
You got it.
Yep.
I could do the 6 this time.
Take it out. I saw you now.
You already said it.
Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant for 3 years, and he turned and rebelled against him. And Yahweh sent against him raiding bands of Kasdim, and raiding bands of Aram, and raiding bands of Moab, and raiding bands of the children of Israel. And he sent them against Yehudah to destroy it, according to the word of Yahweh, which he had spoken by his servants the prophets. Only at the mouth of Yahweh this came upon Yehudah, to remove them from his presence, because of the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he did, and also because of the innocent blood that he shed, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which Yahweh would not forgive. And the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Yehudah? So Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiakim his son reigned in his place. And the sovereign of Mizraim did not come out of his land again, for the sovereign of Babel had taken all that belonged to the sovereign of Mizraim from the wadi of Mizraim to the river Euphrates.
Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 new moons. And his mother's name was Nehushta, the daughter of Elnath, Elnathan, Elnathan of Jerusalem. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, according to all that his father did. At that time, the servants of, oh my gosh, Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. Crazy name. Sovereign of Babel came up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. And Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, came against the city. I can't say that name seriously. And the servants were besieging it. And Jehoiakim, sovereign of Yehudah, and his mother, and his servants, and his heads, and his eunuchs, went out to the sovereign of Babel, and the sovereign of Babel, in the 18th year of his reign, took him prisoner. And he took from there all the treasures of the house of Yahweh, and the treasures of the sovereign's house, and he cut in pieces all the objects of gold which Shalomo, the sovereign of Israel, had made, and the hekel of Yahweh, had in the heck of Yahweh, as Yahweh had said. And he exiled all of Jerusalem, and all the officers, and all the mighty brave men, 10,000 exiles, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remained except the poorest people of the land.
And he exiled Jehoiakim back to Babel, and the sovereign's mother, and the sovereign's wives, and his eunuchs, and the leading men of the land, and he exiled from Jerusalem to Babel. And all the mighty brave men, 7,000, and craftsmen and smiths, and 1,000, all who were strong and fit for battle. These, the sovereigns of Babel, brought the Babel into exile. And the sovereign of Babel set up Mattaniah, Jehoiakim's uncle, to reign in his place, and changed his name to Tesiahu. Tesiahu was 21 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamatutah, daughter of Hamatal, the daughter of Yirmiyahu of Libah. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, according to all that Jehoiakim did. For this took place in Jerusalem and Yehuda because of the displeasure of Yahweh, until he has cast him out from his presence. And Kiyahu, thank you. Sidkiyahu rebelled against the sovereign of Babel. The takeover, the breaks over trigger. One of the things that I'm tired of proving this, but this whole thing, multiple wives, I don't think people understand what wives really mean. A wife's a property, almost like having a child, almost like having sheep. I think we beat that to a dead end. But if you want to bring it back in Melachem Beth, 2 Kings, the 24th chapter. And hold on a second. I'm sorry. Let me finish this Bible studies up.
Yes, yeah, something to do after this.
All right. It said in the verse 15. It says, and he exiles Jehoiakim to Babel, and the sovereign's mother, and the sovereign's wives, plural, and his eunuchs. You know what a eunuch is, Big?
I don't know what it is either.
Well, okay, so eunuch, like, so let's say we capture another country, right? Let's say, okay, we're gonna take over Puerto Rico, yay, and we take over Puerto Rico, right? And crush everybody, but we leave like the women, but then we don't want no men to be around our women, but we want to protect them women. So we castrate strong men just to protect the women, but they don't have sex with the women. That's a eunuch.
Okay.
That's like
Yes.
Game of Thrones.
Exactly. Pizel, what was that guy's name? Yeah. He was a eunuch, but he was a eunuch made because of something happening with them. But these are royal eunuchs, to where they're just guarding the brides, you know what I'm saying, the wives' house and the concubines' houses. So when you understand we had a complete dynasty, meaning from one father to a son, that son becomes a father to another son. When you have that going on, like they bury that. They bury that in history. You only can find this in scripture. They don't even talk about Israeli dynasties or kingdoms of Israel. Only thing you know about Israel was, hey, they were getting beat up by Adolf Hitler, and then 1946 they fought all these countries to create Israel. It's older than that. It's deeper than that. It's people pretending to be you over there.
Yeah.
And this is why they banned it from the captives reading it. Who captive? Who? The children of David, the house of David. Because once you read this and get connected, it's your superpower. It connects you back to your crown. Right. I know, shoot, we only got like 30 minutes, sir. Only got time. Can you just break it down episode gently, sir?
No, I'm still soaking up this one. Sounds like a war is going on, though.
It's a war. It's a war, mind you. See what I'm saying? Like, if you skip over it, Babel is rotted. This is
Yeah.
Babylon they're talking about. Nebuchadnezzar, it's crazy because Nebuchadnezzar is what they named the ship in the Matrix. But he's also one of their biggest kings, him and Darius. Mind you, these people fight the Spartans later on. This is the same people. This is the same Babylonian war rise of Xerxes and all that. They've been running it since then. Nimrod, Babylonian, or Assyrian. They want to hide it. They're the same people. And guess what? For all y'all hippity hops, blackity blacks, pro blacks, right? These people were melanated. They were Hasidic and Hamitic, Shemitic. So they were melanated people, what you call black or brown. But they still had the evils in them. That the color doesn't change who you are. What's in your heart? That's what matters.
Facts.
We're gonna get a brand new skin anyway. This color thing is a game. They've been playing a game on us. So-called white people of today were slobs, were slaves. They were hairy beasts. That's why they'll talk to you about the missing link. They are that's what they for you to get it quietly, that's what you have to understand. Because there's no way in science we could describe these beings unless we start talking about the Most High. Where did y'all come from? Oh, we got trapped in the ice in the Arctic. Well, why did that happen to Eskimos? You see Nyaget, all big, poo. At some point, her kids are interchangeable with the skin complexion. If that's the case, India, the Asian steppes. If you look at Darius' complexion, I'm not saying his hair, his complexion, he's darker than Big. So what does that mean? Big is black and Darius not? Huh? Who invented this game? Oh,
Facts.
it's you causing confusion, you adversary, causing us to be apart. Fine. We're coming to the end times anyway. It's all gonna get cleaned out in the wash. But when the Most High tells me to pick up that sword, oh, it's on. Okay. It looks like we have. Hold on, let me see.
It all works out.
We got London on the track.
You got 10.
Everybody get 10, 10 apiece. No one consider a leash.
Just
The
like
peace.
old days.
Sheesh.
The good old days.
And it came to be in the ninth year of his reign, in the 10th new moon, on the 10th of the new moon, that Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, and all his army came against Jerusalem and encamped against it. And they built a siege wall against it all around, and the city was besieged until the 11th year of the sovereign Sidkiyahu. By the ninth of the new moon, the scarcity of food became so severe in the city that there was no food for the people of the land. Then the city wall was breached, and all the men of battle fled at night by way of the gate between two walls, which was by the sovereign's garden, and even through the Kasdim were still encamped all around against the city, and the sovereign went by way of the desert plain. And the army of Kasdim pursued the sovereign and overtook him in the desert plains of Jericho, and all his army was scattered from him. And they seized the sovereign and brought him up to the sovereign of Babel at Riblah, and they pronounced sentence on him. And they slew the sons of Sidkiyahu before his eyes, and put out the eyes of Sidkiyahu, and bound him with bronze shackles, and took him to Babel.
Goodness.
And if the fifth new moon, and in the fifth new moon, on the seventh of the new moon, which was the 19th year of sovereign Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, Nebuzaradan, the chief of the guard, a servant of the sovereign of Babel, came to Jerusalem, and he burned the house of Yahweh, and the house of the sovereign, and all the houses of Jerusalem, even every great house he burned with fire. And all the army of the Kasdim who were with the chief of the guard broke down the walls of Jerusalem all around.
Take it away, little killer Pope.
Yeah, got me. Yeah, got me.
Yes, sir. I got you, big. Got you back, big. Don't mess with my name. Come from family, sir. You come from family. Gotta get you.
Gotta get him ready. So, and Zaradan, the chief of the guard, took into exile the rest of the people who were left in the city, and the deserters who deserted the song. Who deserted? Excuse me. Who deserted to the sovereign of Babel, with the rest of the multitude. But the chief of the guard left some of the poor of the land as vine dressers and farmers. And the bronze columns that were in the house of Yahweh, and the stand and the bronze sea that were in the house of Yahweh, they casted them in broken pieces, and took their bronze away to Babel. They took the pots and the shovels and the snuffers and the ladles. That's not ladies. And the ladles and all the bronze utensils the priests used in the service. And the chief of the guard took the fire holders and the basins, which were of solid gold and solid silver. And the bronze of all these utensils was beyond measure. 2 columns, the one seat, and the stands, which Shlomo had made for the house of Yahweh. The height of the column was 18 cubits. The capital on it was of bronze, and the height of the capital was 3 cubits. And the network and the pomegranates all around the capital were all of bronze. And the second column was the same, with a network. And the chief of the guard took Sariah, the chief of priests, and Sephanyahu, the second priest, and the 3 doorkeepers. And out of the city he took a certain eunuch who appointed over the men of battle. And 5 men of those who saw the sovereign's face were found in the city, and the chief scribe of army who mustered the people of the land, and 60 men of the people of the land who were found in the city. And Nezibaradan, chief of the guard, took them and made them go to the sovereign of Babel at Riblah.
And the sovereign of Babel struck them and put them to death at Riblah, and in the land of Hamath. So he exiled Yehuda from its own land, and he appointed Gelahahu, son of Al-Achim, son of Shaphan, over to the people who were left in the land of Yehuda, whom Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, had left. And all the commanders of the armies and their men heard that the sovereign of Babel had appointed Gedalahu. And they came to Gedalahu at Mizpah, even Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, and Yohanan, son of Korah, and Sarah, son of Tanmueth, and Netopaneth, and Yaazrahu, son of Malkathet, and their men, and Jidalahu, Gedaliah? Gedaliah swore to them and their men and said to them, do not be afraid of the servant of the Cassim. Dwell in the land and serve the sovereign of Babel, and let it be well with you. And in the seventh new moon it came to be that Ishmael, son of Nathanahu, son of Elishama, Elishama, the seed of the rain, came with 10 men and struck Gela and died. And Yate and the Udim and the Kasim who were with him at Mizpah. And all the people rose up, small and great, and the commanders of the army, and went into Mizraim, for they're afraid of Kazim. And it came to be that in the 37th year of exile of Joachim, sovereign of Yehuda, and the 12th new moon, on the 27th of the new moon, that Modoc, sovereign of Babel, Modoc, that's a weird name. Modoc, sovereign of Babel, in the year that he began to reign, released Jehoiakim, sovereign of Yehuda, from prison, and spoke kindly to him, and set his throne above the thrones of the sovereign who were with him in Babel, and changed his prison garments. And he ate bread continually before the sovereign all the days of his life. And as his allowance, a continual allowance was given to him from the sovereign, a quarter for each days, all the days of his life. So in that book. Guys, you know what's crazy? This just remind me of? Some of these people projected or put into prominence could be of the house of David. For instance, like a Michael Jordan, right? Could be a sovereign bloodline, but we can't give him anything but what we call Hollywood. Or Denzel Washington, right? Could be a noble prince or a noble king, but we're just gonna have him act and play an actor, if that makes sense. So I need to dig out that more, but it looks like when they conquer a nation, they still respect. A king will always remain a king. They will still respect that nobility, but in a weird way. Right? And then also they talk about the eunuchs leading the army. So Big, you had it right too. In Games of Thrones, they also had eunuchs that were the devil galleys or something like that were all part of the army, and all they knew how to do was fight and die. There was no having children for them. So that's what the eunuch is, a part of their roles. There's no family, there's no future. You're just here to be a pawn in this army at this time, whether it's to guard the women or lead the men to battle. So that's a culmination, not to that part of people that the Most High chose, but they still rebelled vehemently against him. They still wasn't acting right. Can you imagine having children that's just being so rebellious? You beat them, you put them in timeout, and they're still rebellious. This is the love story. It's how much your creator loves you. Because he could have just wrote you off. Like, not just you. He's giving you an opportunity to set yourself up for greatness or failure. And that's what I tell you guys. All you got to do is live. Be careful of the programs they try to put inside of you. Be careful of the seed that the adversarial ones want to put in you, because he has ministers. I remember your mom, she was talking about she watched Joel Osteen and she thought she was doing the right thing. And she wasn't the only one who was fooled by this man. They only exposed him during a storm when he wouldn't let people into his church. If that storm didn't happen, the Most High, they would never expose him.
Yeah, she's watching who?
Joel Osteen, Pastor Joel Osteen, a prosperity preacher.
That's
White
crazy.
dude
I don't
sometimes.
remember what that is.
Yeah, you won't, because it's a fad, right? It came and it went. but it's still here. Because before him, they had Billy Graham and Pat something or other, 700 Club. There was always these people, preachers of Baal, talking about prosperity. Baal is the god of prosperity. He's the god. He's the green man. And guess why? Because Adam was the tiller of the garden. So all of this story comes back to some way, some shape, some form, the Adam and Eve, even their children, Cain, Abel, and Seth. So keep your spiritual armors on, my friends.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for completing this week's discovery scripture reading and not letting anything get in our way.
Of course.
Prayerfully that shows favor on the Most High when He looks down on us. His royal servants, because that's all we can be. Understanding that there's going to be the Most High, there's going to be a king, a high priest, right? Warriors. This is a complete kingdom. Yahshua right now is playing the spiritual role of the king. And that hasn't changed. We have to play our part too. We still wear crowns. There's jewels being put in our crowns as we speak, gentlemen. Because even though we study what our forefathers did wrong, it may or may not stop us from making those same mistakes. So don't try to take it on your own. Don't try to take it on the chin. It's okay to not know. It's okay to seek knowledge. It's okay to ask a question. But don't ever think that you can figure it out on your own. It's not meant to be that way. It's so vast, it's so great. A lot that the Most High
And infinite knowledge.
Exactly.
You can't know it all.
Exactly. So we could play the role of Thanos all we want to, but there's only one creator.
Fuck.
And with that, gentlemen, please, man, let's share. Let's end this off. Drop a like. Shoot.
My part is that they ransacked the place and took all their bronze. And I saw the word bronze coming up a lot.
They took everything, shoot. They took everything. It was like, yo, whatever you worship, they took everything and built it anew. That's what they try to do to me in the army. They break you down and build it anew. They got it from Baal. They got it from Nebuchadnezzar. Right? They killed this man's family, shoot. Big. Hold on, let me get to that chapter because this thing is crazy. Hold on, let me get to. They killed this man's family
In front of him and then took his eyes.
That's the last thing you'll see.
That was savage.
Savage.
That's crazy.
This was war on another level, but they had it coming to them. They had to go through the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Because you guys was acting out of order. It's supposed to be, that's like having a kid, like having multiple kids, and then you have the one kid that he's supposed to be the one that guards or watches over the others. But he's doing the weirdest things. Like, what are you doing? Why are you touching your little brother? Why are you introducing him into these things? This is not from us.
Weirdo.
But it's like, yo, shoot, we can say that because we inside. Go outside. There's gonna be a guy who thinks he's a girl. Like, first of all, what is a woman? Tell me what a woman is. I can't even tell you
See
what a
that
woman
all
is.
the time at school.
They do it at school now, shoot? Lord
Yeah, they got-
Jesus.
Okay, so at the end of school, I usually hang out with one of my friends at the bus stop. Wait till the bus gets here, and then I walk home. because he usually takes a bus. And every day I see like the same like they're not in the group with each other, but I see the same like two guys. One doesn't have any like makeup or anything on. He just runs. His a feminine type of run. The other dude is just the other dude is just gone. He got his nails done, his hair done, he got eyelashes, makeup, everything. Everything you can say. Everything on the list.
He said everything on last. But he's gonna regret that. Because I can't even a woman don't even know what a woman feels. What's a woman supposed to feel like? When you say I feel like a woman, what's a woman supposed to feel like? Do you feel like having babies? Talk to me. What do you feel like? They let society get to them. I don't even know how that happens.
Yeah,
These people are
stop
supposed to be
being human.
and they want to be trans. They want to be something more. And that I'm like, I can't ride with you guys. I just can't. I know this is an abomination. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm sorry.